Hi guys, welcome back. I am Stu and this is Woodworm Park for Roller Coaster Tycoon Classic. This historical park is only allowed to build older style rides. Your objective: to have at least 1,600 guests in your park at the end of October, year 3, with a park rating of at least 600. Okay, so it's not a huge park. And we've got, by the looks of it, a big railway going around the middle in like a figure of 8 pattern. So that's taken up quite a chunk of an already fairly small park. So it's free admission. We're going to be charging for rides. So we've got a train, we've got a good selection of gentle rides, not a great selection of coasters, but these two here are quite cheap to build, they're quick to build, and they're very easy as well, and with good excitement. A couple of thriller rides, we might make use of those. So we've got a lot of water. Okay, water rides. Not a great selection of shops. So thinking about it then, I think I'm going to put my research into, have a guess, shops. And there's a reason for that. We haven't got a lot of coasters, thrill rides, but we do have a lot of gentle rides, so I can put them down fairly early on, and whatever thrill rides we've got. Plus we do have a couple of, well, we've got the, what was it, the Wild Mouse and the Wooden Mine Train, so we can build some of them, so that will give us a good start on coasters. So by the time we get round to building these, we'll have already, well, hopefully we'll have researched some good shops, and maybe some thrill rides as well, and then we can start cracking on with the coasters. But for now then, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get rid of, let's turn the scenery off a second. Right, so I'm going to get rid of the train, so that'll free up a bit of cash, but it'll also free up a lot of space as well. And I'm also going to get rid of the paths, because I don't like the idea of the guests coming all the way down to the back end of the park. I want to keep them as close to the entrance as possible. I like to build a nice tight compact park, so I could no entry side in the paths and then open it up, but I figure I might as well just delete them as and when I'm going through. So we'll research shops to begin with. We'll build some whatever shops we've got to begin with here, and then we'll chuck down a load of them, and then we'll just flood the place with whatever flat rides we've got, and then see how we go. Really, it is October year 1, so I was just having a lot of complaints from overcrowding, because all we had was the paths just up here. So what I've done now is I've built this nice loop path down over the water, so that's allowed a lot of the guests to come from the main paths down, and that's greatly reduced the overcrowding. So now there you go, you have to go down fairly low. Can't see any actually complaining about overcrowding. So we've unlocked a few shops then, so we've built them in the middle, and then I've built a little seating area at the back as well, just in case anyone wants to sit down when they're having their food. Got a Ferris wheel, slide just there, haunted house, twist. We've got an observation tower at the back, a couple of pirate ships, and a nice wooden mine coaster here. So it's high excitement on that. Very simple design. The trick with these, not to have them going too fast. I did have to redesign the back end a few times because it was a bit too extreme, so I've just lengthened it a little so that by the time it comes back to these, to the tight bend at the back, so I was struggling getting it to make it back to the station, so by the time it comes back to there, it's scrubbed off a bit of speed, so it's not quite as intense. So research wise then, we're now researching thrill rides. So we've got tons of shops, so I'm going to research those. I've got some nice spaces down here that we can put some more thrill rides, and then I think once I've got a few unlocked, then we're going to start cracking on with roller coasters. It is May year 2, so we've got a few more rides then. We've got a launch tower there, we've got some bumper boats, got that down on £1, so it's nice and cheap just to get a load of guests off the paths. We've got a wooden mouse, wild mouse here. So, oh, wrong one. There you go. Not very high excitement, but this one here is high intensity. So having one over here that's low intensity, that'll give some of the guests that don't like intense rides something to do. We've got a nice go-kart track here, so it's good excitement on that. So I'm doing quite well. We're halfway to the target. We need 1,600 guests by the end of year 3, so we're halfway to the target, and we're just under halfway through the game. It's just starting to rain, so I have noticed it is raining a lot, so that could hamper us in future, but so far so good. It is October year 2, so we can just watch my new wooden coaster go around. Quite like the design of this. Doesn't go too fast, nothing too extreme. Nice simple design. I think it looks pretty cool, and good excitement as well. And then we've got Virginia Reel just here. Good excitement on that. And then just over here then we've got built another path, so I've got another path loop connecting this up here. So we've got a couple of swinging inverter ships, we've got simulator ride, another launch tower, except this one's set to drop, maximum height on that one, and yet not too intense. We've mentioned that before in the past. It does seem like it's wrong somehow, the fact that it can drop at 119 miles per hour and yet only be at intensity 7. Bizarre. So we're up to 1,200 guests then, so I think we're alright. We're not struggling. I think we're doing okay. It is March year 3. I've built a couple of soapbox derbies, having a race just round your middle. Guest numbers are starting to fall, so I thought I was doing really well not long ago, but it is starting to fall. Another thing I found was quite bizarre as well. If you remember, it says you're only allowed to build older style rides. What have I just unlocked? A Giga Coaster. That's not an older style ride. So I figure we'll put a Giga Coaster over here. Nothing too complex, because we haven't got tons of cash and they are quite expensive. And I'm probably going to have to start making some of my rides free. So I'm going to start off with the flat rides, because by now most of the money we're making is off the coasters. So we're going to start off making the flat rides free, and that will help us keep the guests that we got in the park that are running out of cash. Let's have a look, see what they're all thinking. There you go, we've got 60 guests there that are running out of cash. So if we can keep them by making some of the rides free, that should give us a bit of a boost, and hopefully we won't have any more dramas. It is May year 3, so I've made the rides free then, but that still didn't help. So if you notice, the entrance and exits of these rides are a different style. So what I've done then is I've deleted the old flat rides, and I've replaced them like for like on the same footprint, so it's nice and easy. I'm going to worry about paths with new rides. So the guests, as far as the guests are concerned, it's a brand new ride. Now if it was you or me and we were in a park and the park did that, we just think, well they've got rid of a Ferris wheel and they've put a brand new Ferris wheel in that was exactly the same as the old one. That's not very good. But these guys, they haven't got a clue about that. So as far as they're concerned, it's a brand new ride. They're all pumped because this park's got loads of brand new rides this year, so they're all coming in. So the guest numbers are going up, so that's good. So we should be all right now. We've let's have a look, got the coasters free as well. Drastic times drastic measures. So as you can see, we were making 8,000 a month. We're now it's down to 1.7 because I've just made them all free. So we should be all right. We're going to start losing some cash, because of all the expenditure we got, like staff and whatever, but we should be alright. If it continues, if the guest numbers continue to rise at the current rate, we should be okay. I've put my research now into shops, as you can see, just to get some more shops unlocked. And what we might do is we might make shops free as well. I'm not sure yet, but that might help us keep the guests that we've got. It is July year 3. We're just about to do 1600 guests, so that's the target for the park, target for the scenario, and we've just got over that now. We've got a few more months to go. All the rides are free, including the coasters. I've done the Giga coaster over here, so it's nothing complex. They are quite expensive, so I don't want to go overboard with it. I've got a block break just there, and then another one then down at the end, so that'll help with getting the people on and getting the ride on. So we're losing money. That's okay. We've got a few more money we can a few more thousand we can borrow, and so we're not doing too bad. I think what I'll do is, once we get a nice buffer of guests, so maybe another 50 guests or whatever, I'll start charging for the Giga coaster, and then that should see us back into the positive for money, and then we should be fine then. But yeah, a bit worried early on because I didn't want to fail a scenario. I didn't want to have to advertise again, because we advertised on I can't remember the name of it now. Was it Crumbly Woods? So that's the only one we've advertised on so far. So we're up to about 60 something scenarios, and we've only had to advertise once, so I'm quite happy with that. I didn't want to have to do it again on this one, but I don't think we'll need to. It is October year 3. We've got 1700 guests in the park. The target was 1600, so we're going to pass the scenario. A few dramas on the way, but in the end we're going to do it quite comfortably, but it has made us work for this one. So the Giga coaster then, I'm currently charging £5 a ride. For this one, it's definitely worth it because it's such a good, exciting coaster. Every other ride in the park is free. I've built a few more slides down here, been replacing the flat rides around the park as well, so as far as the guests are concerned, even though they're identical to the ones that were there already, they're brand new, so they're happy with that. So what did we do then? When we came in, we got rid of the paths and the railway that was down already. We put our research into shops, and we built these shops just up here, and all the ones that unlocked. Built the flat rides just up here, nice and compact, and then expanded as and when needed. Then we built the coaster just here, and then guests were starting to complain that it was very overcrowded. So I built this loop path down just before the soapbox derby cars, back along and back up there. That got a lot of the guests off the main path and down there, so that reduced the overcrowding. It's rained a lot during this scenario, so if you notice, my paths, my entrance paths are a lot longer on most rides than normal. So there's two reasons for that. First reason is to help reduce overcrowding on the main path, and the second reason is that when it rains, guests won't join the queues, but any guests that are already in the queue will be committed to the ride. So if you've got a long queue, so if you've got a queue with say 100 people in it, which you might have for some of the coasters, then that's 100 people who are still going to ride the ride when it rains. If you've only got 20 people and it rains, you're only going to get 20 people going on there. So then what we did then, we just carried on building. We built down here, we got the go-karts and a wild mouse. Not as intense and not as exciting as some of the other coasters, so it's a nice gentle ride for the guests who like that sort of thing. We've got a Virginia reel just over here, good excitement on that, and the wooden coaster just there that's broken down, perfect timing. And then after that we built a couple of soapbox derby cars. So with the orange one, I've got the chain lift slightly faster than the white one, just because it's on the outside. And then so what that does is it helps it maintain a relatively equal speed around as the white one, because the white one's on the inside for a lot of it. And then so by the time they come back to the end, they are fairly equal, and they do come in at more or less the same time. So it was good excitement on that. So by then we were starting to lose guests. We'd got up to about 1,200 guests, and I thought we were doing fine. I thought it was going to be plain sailing for the last year, but then we started losing guests. So that's where I started making rides free, and then I started replacing the rides like for like, and then I even got to the point where I started making the roller coasters free. So we got to the point where all of the roller coasters and all of the flat rides were free. Then I built the Giga Coaster just over here, so we can watch that going round. Simple design, nothing too complex, because we weren't making too much money, and we were going to make all the rides free as well. So I didn't want to spend a ton of cash on a ride that we were just going to make free anyway. So nice simple design, but it's good excitement. As you can see, huge queue on that one. What have we got? There you go, only 4 minutes. Only 4 minutes, but there's 76 guests in the queue. So that's 76 guests that are already committed to the ride. And if it rains now, those 76 guests will still go on the ride. So we're charging for this one now. We've just put the money back up for this ride only. So that's seen us then out of the red and back into the black. There we go, a week to go then. And then after that then we built a few of these rides there. I think we can, oh there you go, we can watch the wooden coaster going round. A nice mix of speed. There, you don't want it going too fast, you don't want it going at a constant speed all the way around. You want it sort of going fast and then slow, and then ups and downs. So it's good excitement on that. So Woodworm Park then, definitely one of the harder scenarios we've played so far. Just a few days to go until we complete it. Oh, and there you go, I've even got some of the no, hang on. Oh, there you go. 10 pence for that one. What have we got that? Most of them are free. We might as well make that one free as well. So we've even got the shops free as well, because a lot of the guests were complaining that they were hungry and they'd run out of cash, but we kept them in the park by making the rides free. So they were staying because they were getting free rides, but then they were still hungry. So this was definitely one of the harder parks. So I'm interested if you've completed the park, you know, and you found it easier than I have. Maybe what did you do different? Maybe a comment saying what you did. Maybe you started off building coasters or something. Okay, so we completed it. We completed it. In the end, 1,700 guests. We only needed 1,600. It probably doesn't reflect on how tricky it was. If we just said, oh, I passed that with 1,700 odd guests, you'd think, oh, no problem. But it was quite tricky. We did have to make all the rides free. In the end, we made even the shops free. We're literally giving everything away. We could ram the price up now and make tons of cash. But if you played the scenario and you completed it and you found it a lot easier, let me know what you did, because it'd be interesting to see different styles, how that affects it. Because maybe dropping the coasters down at the start would give you a nice boost of guests early on. Maybe keeping the trains, because the train that was here to begin with was a good for excitement. So that would be a nice ride to bring the guests into the park. So maybe that would be better off. I don't know. So yeah, I am Stu. This was Woodworm Park. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Any questions or feedback, drop them in the comments section, and I'll see you next time. Bye.